Hey guys, I'm so excited. I'm launching a new series from the 100 Most Beautiful People edition of People magazine. I don't know, this came out recently. It's got Christina Applegate there on the cover, and I was looking through it last night and there are just so many awesome looks in there, makeup looks that really inspired me, and so I thought maybe I'll just pick some of those and make a little series out of it for those of you who really like the celebrity inspired looks. So the one that really stood out to me at first was this look from Jennifer Lopez. It's just a total glowy skin, a fairly natural eye, but with some emphasis on the lashes and the liner there, and I just wanted to go ahead and duplicate that look for you guys. So that is the look that we're going to be working on today. It uses, if you look closely at the picture, it uses kind of a charcoal grayish navy shade on the bottom. Really, really pretty. So this look turns out to be really wearable, so I hope you guys like it, and I hope you continue to enjoy this series. Alright guys, getting started with the skin. I'm taking a little different approach with this look because while her skin looks so flawless in the picture, it also looks somewhat bare. It has sort of that dewy look, not a really full coverage kind of look. I realize photos are retouched and everything, so to say flawless, you know, may or may not be the case, but it just does give off that sort of dewy look. So I wanted to go with a tinted moisturizer. I'm using the Jane AguaCeuticals in medium warm tones. And that has an SPF 30 in it, by the way. And I just smoothed that all over my face, and it does give a really light amount of coverage, so that was kind of nice. And then I used my Maybelline Mineral Power concealer around my nose for any redness there, and I used my Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer Kit around my eyes. So now that I'm going to start with the face, color-wise, I thought I'd walk you through that. First thing I'm going to use is this new Sonia Kashuk. It's a blush bronzer duo, cream blush and bronzer. I have the golden cream bronzer, just that, and I saw this duo and I thought it was really pretty. And I may really lightly use this kind of pinky coral shade, but it really looks like her cheeks more so just have a little bit of contour to them, but not a lot of color. So anyway, starting with that, let me grab my sponge here. Starting with the golden cream shade, just going to get some of that on my sponge. And basically create cheekbones here. You're making that streak on each side where you want it to be, and then kind of take the bare side of the sponge and just buff it out. Don't be scared to make a streak on your cheek because, you know, you can totally blend it out. And see, we're left with that exact effect that we want. To make it make sense, you just got to figure out, okay, here's my cheekbone. I'm going kind of right up under it. You got to make sure you find that proper spot. Kind of going like that, and following that line up can help you. And you can also use that cream as a contour just for an added bronzer effect elsewhere on the face. Of course, J-Lo has a really, you know, bronzed look, so that's definitely the route we're going to go. You know, contour around your nose a little bit too. Use your sponge and kind of make that. She's got kind of a very straight nose there, so you can use contouring to help you out there. So again, just go over, use that cream to help deepen up any areas that you want. And then we're going to go over that with just some powder bronzer, and I'm using my Milani powder bronzer in light, taking my fluffy kabuki brush, and this is just going to be a light dusting all over my face here. And this is really somewhat matte, so we're not going to add a lot of shimmer, or we're really not going to add a lot of shimmer at all, but to maintain the dewy look we will add a little bit at the end of this little face segment here. Now that you've gone over your face with bronzer and you've also done your bronzing with cream on the cheeks, we're going to go ahead and further accentuate certain areas. I'm going to be using a new blush I got from Maybelline. It's the True Match in Sweet Ginger. And this might look really dark, and it is, and it's for the most part pretty matte appearing, but I thought this would make a great contour color because it is that dark, deep shade, and with a light touch, I think this would make a great contour. So I'm just lightly getting it there on my blush brush. And then I'm just going to sweep it over that cheek area. And I really didn't end up using, I guess, any of the pink cream in that cream duo. I kind of, you know, looking at her picture again, she really doesn't appear to have much pink on her cheeks at all. It's just kind of a natural bronzy look, you know. So I may take a little bit of this and just really, really lightly hit the tops of my cheeks with it. But past that, we're going to keep it pretty much as is. Okay, and then we don't want to forget the highlighter because she just does have that nice dewy glow. So I'm going to go ahead, take my Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips in Waikiki Strip. It's the Peachy Glow one. And just go towards the top of that palette where the lighter shades are and hit the tops of the cheeks. Just kind of the central part of the face. I'm going down the top of my nose, center of the forehead, and chin, just kind of bringing light to that area. Moving on to eyes. Step 1, I'm going to take my MAC Rubenesque Paint Pot, which has a nice peachy goldeny glow, and I'm going to apply that all over my eyelid. And I'm also going to work it up all over, you know, all the way up to my brow bone, which on my face actually covers quite a bit of area here. But that is the undertone I want for this entire look. So just kind of a goldeny glow. Then the next step, the eye look is, in terms of eyeshadow, is really pretty bare. So I found a palette that I think works for most of the shades you would need for this look. It's my Revlon Colorstay 12-Hour Shadow in Nude Elements. And we're going to go all over our lid with this shade right here. It's sort of like a very, very light taupe with a little bit of gold shade. Her lids, there's really not much going on there. So I'm going to use that. And I love the kind of golden undertone, though, that paint pot gives us, because I can tell that that's there in this look. I'm just using my e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. Just put on as much as you want. I don't think there's really a thick, opaque shimmer to her look, so I'm just kind of keeping it somewhat sheer. And then in the crease, there's really not a lot happening there, so I'm going to take this shade right below it. It's a little bit deeper, if you can see. It's maybe, it's more like a true taupe, very, very, you know, with a little bit of brown mixed in. And I can see a little bit of contour going all the way in from the inner part of this look, so I'm going to sort of duplicate that, but again, it's barely noticeable. So this is just a great daytime look. If you want to look finished and clean and very polished, but not over the top. So the next thing we're going to do is not forget about our highlight. I sometimes forget about that. I'm taking the same shade that we put on our lid and just working that up here for a highlight. And just blend everything out. And then I think we're ready to move on to our eyeliner. So the liner is, she really pulls it off well because it looks pretty natural, but there is definitely some stuff going on here. So I'm going to use my Mineral Wear eyeliner from Physicians Formula in the shade is Ultra Black. And I'm going to line on the top lash line about halfway in with this, okay? So just, this glides on really easily. It's not putting any, doesn't put any stress on your eyelids, so I like that. And if it doesn't look totally clean and just super blended or blended right into your lash line, don't worry, we're going to take the blender tip at the end of this and use that to make sure. Okay, so going all the way out to the outer edge, and then we're going to go about halfway in on the lower lash line as well. So once again, it just glides on. And just get it about halfway there. Just make sure you're really smudging it up right into the lash line. Then I'm going to recap that end and use this blending tip. And as I've said before, doing this step functions to not only smooth out the liner, but it also can remove some excess product. You wonder why you have smudges under your eyes. It may be because, you know, one stroke of your liner was just too heavy and there's a lot more product on your eye than you needed. Okay, so we're just smudging, just like so. And then before we put our liner away, one eye in this picture appears to have the liner in the waterline and one doesn't look quite so much, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. It doesn't have, you know, it really comes down to whatever you want to do. You could totally leave this part out too, but I'm just kind of lightly tugging downward on my lower lid as lightly as I can do it and going pretty much all the way in there. Now what really drew me to this look was the fact that on her lower lash line she had a really kind of like charcoal gray navy shade underneath there, and I think I found the perfect shade to match that, and it's in the same palette we've been using so far for eyeshadow, and it's this bottom shade here. It's kind of like a dark blue with some charcoal gray, just perfect. So I'm using my Coastal Scents Taklon Angle Liner brush, getting some of that shade on there, and I'm going to go over basically everything. I'm going to go over our, you know, the liner we put on the top with this, and I can tell that, you know, there's in some form or fashion, the liner in her look is going all the way in here, but very lightly. She still maintains sort of a natural look, so just going to kind of get in as close to like basically under like my upper waterline sort of as I can. Trying to it's practically like we're trying to hide that line. Okay, just like so. And then the bottom lash line is where it's most noticeable. So just really pack it on to on top of that black that we put on the outer half, and then all the way in as well. If you hear a noise, I think Tyler's making some sort of shake out there. Okay. There you go. There's the liner. Now it's time to move on to mascara, and I'm going to curl my lashes and hold it there for about 15 seconds. Next, I'm going to apply my Lash Blast mascara to the top and bottom lashes. It doesn't look like the bottom lashes are a huge factor in this look, but we do want them to show up a little bit. And if you wanted to, if anything has been added to her lashes in this picture, it appears it may just be some like small like individual lash bundles maybe to the outer part and sort of all the way maybe midway in on her eyes. So if your mascara, you know, doesn't do it for you, then that would definitely still kind of be in the realm of this look if you wanted to put in some individual lash. Hey guys, alright, this is the finished look, and upon further review I decided I did need to add a few false individual lashes to the outside. I used these Andrea Perma Lash, just a few of those. I used 3 on each side, and they are the Flare in medium black, and so that just kind of gives that effect that she has here on the corner of her eye. Oops, not really holding that flat, but just that really kind of swept up and out to the corner effect. So yay, I hope you guys enjoy this look. It's really, really easy and very appropriate for daytime or night. It just kind of may open you up to some new techniques in terms of doing the liner and stuff like that, and also just the glowy complexion on her face. For lips, it's clear that she's got kind of a peachy look going on, so I used my Milani Crystal Gloss, I believe this is called, yeah, in Tantalizing, which is a nice pretty peach shade, but when you put it on at first it comes off really, really shining, and she doesn't really have that much shine, so I just blotted it once with a tissue, and I think I achieved pretty much the look I was going for there. So thank you guys so much for watching this installment of my new series, the 100 Most Beautiful. I'll be doing some more looks from that magazine that I really like, so keep watching. Thanks, guys.